Etemenanki was a massive 7-tiered ziggurat built in the ancient city of Babylon, dedicated to the god Marduk. It symbolized the connection between heaven and earth and stood at the religious and administrative center of Babylonian society. In Civilization VI, Etemenanki provides the following bonuses: +2 science and +1 production to all Mars tiles in your empire, +1 science and +1 production on all floodplain tiles in the city in which it is built, and +2 science from the wonder itself. At first glance, these bonuses may seem unusual for what is essentially a religious monument. If Etemenanki was a temple, shouldn't it provide the player with faith? Well, the bonuses start to make more sense when we think about the environment in which the structure was built and the civilizations that developed within that environment. Etemenanki was constructed in ancient Babylonia, a civilization that developed between the Tigris River and the Euphrates River. This region was dominated by seasonal flooding and extensive marshlands. While these environments were extremely fertile, they were also unpredictable and difficult to manage. Early Mesopotamian societies had to develop irrigation systems, canal networks, and flood control infrastructure in order to stabilize agriculture. This required mathematical organization, long-term environmental observation, and administrative coordination. In gameplay terms, civilization represents this environmental mastery through science, symbolizing technical knowledge, and production, symbolizing the agricultural surplus that allowed large-scale construction projects like Etemenanki to exist. In that sense, the bonuses seem to reflect not the temple's religious role, but the technological and organizational progress of the civilization that built it. Etemenanki requires the writing technology. This is historically appropriate, even if not immediately obvious, if you consider Mesopotamia is where one of the world's earliest writing systems, that of cuneiform, was developed. Writing was not initially used for literature, but for administrative purposes, like recording crop production, managing labor, and organizing trade. Large temple complexes such as Etemenanki function not only as religious centers, but also as economic and administrative hubs. Without written records, coordinating projects at this scale would have been pretty much impossible. Etemenanki can only be built on floodplains or marsh tiles. This restriction again reflects the geography of ancient Mesopotamia. The civilizations of this region developed almost entirely along river systems where annual flooding created fertile but unstable land. This seems to reinforce the idea that the wonder represents the environmental control that the ancient Mesopotamians had.
Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves.
This quote comes from the book of Genesis and refers to the story of the Tower of Babel. There is a long-standing cultural and academic association between Etemenanki and the Tower of Babel. While the biblical tower is not a confirmed historical structure, many historians believe the story was inspired by large Mesopotamian ziggurats. Etemenanki itself was a massive stepped temple, and it was rebuilt multiple times, particularly during the reign of Nebuchadnezzar II. Interestingly enough, Alexander the Great had ordered that the ziggurat be repaired after his conquest of Babylon, but later, when seeing that no progress had actually been made, he decided to demolish it so that it can be rebuilt from scratch. However, he died before the project was started, and Etemenanki was left destroyed. Ziggurats were designed to symbolically connect heaven and earth, making the quote about reaching the heavens thematically very appropriate. As was stated multiple times before, Etemenanki in Civ VI seems to be more tied to the general geography of the Mesopotamian peoples rather than giving emphasis to the purpose of the building itself. What is specifically interesting to me regarding this is the fact that the wonder provides science, a resource that has been heavily tied to the Babylonian civilization in the gameplay side of Civ VI. It is very nice to see this emphasis on science, considering the Babylonians were exceptionally advanced for their time, making insane breakthroughs in the field of mathematics, astronomy, and engineering.